For this introduction of Google Docs, I thought I would start with Drive and create a Google Doc for you. So you're going to go to New, Google Doc, and once it pops up, this is all just set kind of as a default, and in another video I can show you how to change the default settings for your Google Docs. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you just log in and you haven't made any changes to it. So a couple of things you can do if this is too much for you, you can always hide the menu bar, or if you accidentally click on it and it looks like this and you want to go back, you're just going to find that drop down arrow again where it says show menus. Okay, so you can just immediately start typing. And then you can also, so lots of things that you can change right up here. And I'm just going to go through a few of them. So this is undo and redo. If you don't know the shortcut, keyboard shortcuts, you can use those. If you do know this shortcut, the undo one has saved me so much time in lots of places. It's surprising how many programs on my computer use Control-Z or I'm using a Mac right now, so that's why that little symbol is there. That's the command one for a Mac. But Control-Z will do the same thing, and it's surprising how many programs can actually use that feature. So definitely something worth memorizing. Here's spell check and grammar. If it's not just automatically turned on for you, you can double check it there. This is how, if you want to zoom in to your document, save yourself some eye strain, make things bigger in a document so that you're not straining to see small stuff. That came from my eye doctor recently when I told her I was getting headaches from staring at a screen too much. So she said, the bigger on the screen and the farther away, the better. So to zoom in that way, you can format some texts if you want there. I don't mess with this too much, but you can definitely dig into it and have some fun. Font, size of font, and then this is bold, italicize, underline. This is how to change the text color. Just be sure that if you have it already typed that you're highlighting what text color you want. This is to highlight something that's already, or to continue highlighting, right? And then to make a hyperlink, so I'm going to just undo because that's kind of hard to see. To make a hyperlink, you would click this and then you would paste in the URL you want to make it a link. Again, it needs to be highlighted. To add a comment, we'll come back to this later. You can insert an image. And then this is where to set, like, do you want your text left aligned, so on the left side of your paper? Do you want it center aligned, so it's in the middle? You don't have to hit tab to get it into the middle. Do you want it to be on the right side? And then do you want it to be justified? So this is like in a newspaper where I only have so much space and I'm going to need the words themselves to vary in the spaces between them to fit within that specific allotment of space. Okay, we're going to go back to left. And then this one is where you're going to change the line spacing. So if you need to type, right, double spaced, you don't have to hit enter between lines. You can just tell it to be double spaced. You can also add spacing between paragraphs or after paragraphs. You can do some custom pacing. And so you can mess around with that for line spacing. This next one is if you want to create a list, a numbered list, you would click on that and it gives you more options. So if you don't want it to look like this, you can choose. So this is an outline format. Which outline format do you want? Here we have a bulleted list, and then you can also change, right? What do you want it to look like? How do you want those to look? And you can choose which bullet format you want. This will too have to do with indents. So if you're indenting something, and sorry, let me go back. If you do numbers and you don't want the numbered list anymore, see how it's highlighted blue? You would just click on it again to unhighlight it, and then it would be a numbered list. Okay, so here's where if you want to, and when I hit tab, I'm indenting something. I can increase my indent just by doing that. I can also decrease my indent by clicking on those. Okay, so one other thing is sometimes if you are copying a text from somewhere else, not that you would ever be copying it to plagiarize, right? But sometimes that happens. You just need to copy some text over and things are going wonky and you're not being able to change it, right? Like all of this, I want to just go back to the way that it was. I can remove all of my formatting here with this text clear formatting option. Okay, I can also change. I'm not going to be able to edit. I can only suggest or view on this here. So that's the menu bar. Let's go quickly into some of these other options of things that you can do. So in your file, this is where you can share. You see you can also share in this blue button. You can create a new Google file of some sort from here. You can open something new. You can make a copy of this one. So if I don't want to change the original, but I want to make a copy of it to do something with, you can do that. You can email it as an attachment directly from Docs. You can download this into all of these varying pieces. So if you want to be able to send it, but you don't want people to have access to it to edit or to pull up so it looks like this, you would download it as a PDF and then attach that. So like for college applications, maybe. I do this with resumes and those kind of things. Okay, here's where you can review the version history, so you can see all the many changes that have been made in a document throughout its history, just by clicking through there. And this is only accessible by the owner or anyone who has editing rights. So if you're giving someone viewing rights to your document, I don't believe they'll be able to see the version history. You can rename a document from file, but you can also just click up here and rename your file. Okay, this is where you can also go to move it. So if I created it somewhere and now I need it to live in a different folder in my Google Drive, I can click here and move it. I can also just click right up here to move. Okay, so you get the idea. You can go around and play with these kind of things. Here's in page setup is where I can change my margins. I tend to like to do a 1/2 inch margin just because I feel like an inch takes up so much space on my document and I have more stuff I want to put on my document and I want more space for it. So that changes here where it was here. So you don't have to mess around with these. You can actually just change it in the document itself. Okay. Language, document details. This one is kind of interesting, and especially when we get into Google Slides. You can publish it to the web so it doesn't look like this piece. So here I'll demonstrate. So you just hit publish. You have to hit OK. You do want to make sure that you're good with that because it is making it viewable to the world. And so when you get the link and you paste it in, you have it where it just looks almost kind of like a PDF. And there's nothing else on that document, right? So there's not anything there. But then as you change it, this also will change. So it's kind of a cool feature compared to just letting people view it. It gets rid of all of this editing menus and things like that. Okay. So, and really, truly, don't be afraid to click around and explore into these things because they have some really cool stuff. So editing, these are, again, undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, paste without formatting. If you don't know these keyboard shortcuts, they're here so you can do them. I highly recommend that you start to memorize these if you don't already know them because they will save you a lot of time. This is also a place where you can click on find and replace. So if I say I want to find all my highs and I want to replace them with a hello, I'm going to match case. And then I'm going to hit next, or I might hit replace all. And so anytime I wrote hi, now it is hello. And I use this with students a lot of the times. If you do, I don't have it in here. Actually, let's see if I can do it. Say hi. So it automatically will change my one I to a capital I. But sometimes I see students that don't have that turned on or they have it turned off. And so you can actually go through and just see all of your, if you've used lowercase i's and you know your teacher is going to be bothered by that, you can go and find them, replace them with capitals. You do have to include the spacings, otherwise it'll change every I, even I's that are in a word. Okay, I don't play much with the view option, but this is where you can remove the rulers if those are in your way, or if they're gone, like you can't find them. This is where you would come back to do those kind of things. And you can show section breaks and those kind of things. Insert is a place that I use quite often. You can insert an image from these here. You can insert a table, which we're going to come back to, a drawing. So you can do all kinds of fun things here. A horizontal line, special characters. So this is where you would get, like in your Spanish class, if you're taking Spanish, right, you have the N with the little tilde on the top, the ñ. This is where you could come to find that. If you want to add headers or footers or page numbers, you can also add a page break. So this is great if you're using something like a works cited page or a bibliography. So instead of hitting enter a whole bunch of times until you get to the extra the next page, you would just go to insert page break. And then here you can just have your works cited, and it will always be on its own page at the top. So you don't have to worry about going back and fixing how many times you hit enter. That could be really helpful because I see students do that quite often. All right. Again, that's another place to get a link or a comment. You can create a bookmark from one part of a document to another, and also a table of contents, which can be really helpful. Okay, here's a lot of the things that are on this menu bar are also up in here if this is an easier place to access. So here's where you can format your text. You can also do superscripts and subscripts if you need to. You can do strike throughs. Those aren't super often used, so they haven't included them on that menu bar. And then different types of paragraph styles, that kind of thing. You guys are getting the idea, I hope. And you can create different columns if you needed to. Here's that bulleting numbered list again. And then headers and footers and page numbers are here as well. They've put them in multiple places so that you can find them. Some tools, so spelling and grammar. If you have word count, if your teacher has asked for 500 words or 1,000 words or whatever, you can highlight if you're just wanting to check one section of it. So you can go to tools, word count, and see how many words there are in a page on that piece. Okay, so some other cool things, review the edits that you can now compare documents, which is cool. The explore button, we're going to come back to in a video. It's really kind of a cool piece. Linked objects, so lots of different things here. Voice typing, so awesome. So if you click on this, when you're ready and let's get back up here. And then I click to speak, it's going to start gathering all of the information. I do need to give it access to my microphone, but now I can talk through it and it will start typing. So if you're just have a ton of homework that you need to get through and you don't have the time and typing is getting in your way, you can use this tool. And I believe if you have the app on your device, so mobile, like on your phone and things like this, this might actually even be a way to talk out the work that you need to get done if you're not able to sit and type. You will need to go through this and edit because as you can see, it's not picking up everything exactly the way that I'm saying it. So there's some things I'm going to need to tweak and change. It's not a perfect system. And then to stop it, you would just click on it. You do need to say period and new line because it's not gathering that, or you would just go back and make those changes when you're ready for them. All right, so some cool stuff in here, and I would encourage you to continue playing around with this. All right, and then this is where you can get some add-ons if you want to do some extra fancy stuff that Docs doesn't do. So add-ons are little extra scripts that run programs in the background for Google Docs and for other tools.